Verbal or life.
MSNBC has bent the knee to the new president, Donald Trump. It sounds crazy because they tried to destroy him so much, call him Hitler, call him a Nazi. They went all out. But now they went ahead and visited him. Let's take a look at this video clip where they explain to viewers why. It's crazy. Let's take a look. And by the way, welcome to Verbal on Life. My name is Noel, battling MS. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoy this clip.
Flashback.
As Trump's fascism is the lead story every day, his cozying up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries. It's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us.
And then he says that the news network that is most critical of him should be taken off the air. This is not a reach. I could go back and talk about Nazi Germany, and I do it without any concerns whatsoever. And if people can't start drawing the parallels, well, you're just stupid, or you have your head in the sand, or you're one of them.
Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself.
They would appreciate the opportunity to talk to the president. Look at that. How cordial. Talking about the end of democracy. Talking about how we can't vote for this guy who just is a Nazi. And now they would appreciate a visit. Well said.
On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about some hilarious but fascinating, interesting news from MSDNC this morning featuring Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, who apparently visited Trump at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend to bend the knee, to beg for mercy, right? It seems as if President Trump, before even getting into office, has already made his enemies fall, okay? The supreme art of war is to subdue your opponent without fighting, right? You ain't even got to fight, okay? If anybody's read The Art of War, okay, I highly recommend it. That's what's happening here, okay? I also recommend reading The Prince, Machiavelli, right? Check this book out too. I might make a recommended book list because a lot of this stuff you're definitely going to need to read to understand what's about to happen over the next 4 years, okay? I'm just saying, okay? But Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough, they have decided to detail exactly what happened during their trip to Mar-a-Lago. Now, best believe this is happening for a couple reasons, right? The main reason being that MSNBC and CNN, their ratings have failed through the roof, okay? Their ratings are tanking fast. The viewers are leaving them in droves.
They really felt like they lied to the people. They lost credibility.
It's a busy news cycle coming off the presidential election. It's a time of year news organizations bank on having high viewership, with high interest in who wins the election and reaction to the results. But some networks are seeing their post-election audience quickly evaporating. According to Nielsen ratings, MSNBC had a big election night, bringing in 6 million viewers. But the days following the election, MSNBC's viewership tanked to less than 1 million. The network losing more than half of its audience compared to its average viewership in October leading up to the election. Friday also marked the network's lowest rated non-holiday night of the year. MSNBC recorded a similar loss in viewership following the 2016 election after Trump's last presidential election victory. But the network rebounded, going on to have its 4 most watched years in its history from 2017 to 2020, as many news outlets were able to capitalize on Trump-heavy coverage with record revenue and subscribers. Following last week's election, CNN also hemorrhaged viewership. The network saw 5.1 million people tune in during their election coverage. In the days after the election, CNN's viewership also fell to 611,000.
No credibility. Who can watch CNN thinking that Kamala Harris is going to win? And then all of a sudden, boom, you are wrong.
A 36% drop compared to its average viewership in October leading up to election night. Fox News saw a very different trend. While MSNBC and CNN were losing viewers, Fox News gained. On election night, the network saw over 10 million people tune in. And in the days that followed, Fox's total viewership averaged over 4 million, up 34% from its October average. That's also a 58% jump compared to its 2024 year-to-date numbers.
And the second reason why this is happening, which again is kind of related to the ratings, but it's a little bit separate, is because Trump won the popular vote, right? The majority of the country is MAGA. Did you guys watch NFL football this weekend? You saw all those players, black, white, whoever, doesn't matter. They were all doing the Trump dance, okay? On the field, celebrating after scoring touchdowns. The Trump dance is going viral. People are not afraid to come out and to openly support Trump, right? Trump is the move. Trump is the culture now, okay? And when you're not in line with the culture, again, this is what happens. What happens is that you have to bend the knee to Hitler, right? Yeah. Hitler, okay? Just last week, this guy was calling Trump Hitler, and now he's singing a much different tune. Let's listen.
Good. Okay, so here's where we are. Over the past week, Joe and I have heard from so many people, from political leaders to regular citizens, deeply dismayed by several of President-elect Trump's cabinet selections, and they are scared. Last Thursday, we expressed our own concerns on this broadcast and even said we would appreciate the opportunity to speak with the president-elect himself. On Friday, we were given the opportunity to do just that. Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, keep in mind, again, these people were calling Trump Hitler before the election. Why in the world are they now willing to meet with Hitler? Why are they bending the knee to Hitler? Again, it's because they know that they are deeply unpopular. They know that they have ruined their reputations throughout this whole election season, especially Joe Scarborough. Again, this guy infamously said that if you don't believe that Joe Biden is the sharpest he's ever been, then F you, right? F you. This is what he said on national television, just for Joe Biden to later drop out of the race because he's losing his mind, right? So it's hilarious. They have a credibility problem. So now they have to restart communications. Now, also keep in mind, this is the same network, the same show that was very friendly towards Trump before he ran for president, right? Before he ran for president, Joe Scarborough and Trump, they were boys. They were friends. But as soon as Trump ran for president, now all of a sudden he became public enemy number one. They started saying that he's Hitler, which is something that they never believed, right? They never actually believed it. This is just what they were saying to their audience. But now that they figured out that this doesn't work, that this isn't popular, now they have to change the strategy coming up in Trump's next term. And that's essentially what they're going to explain here.
And also, it's all about money, right? And you want to get your viewers back. More viewers equals more money. So they got to do whatever they have to do to get those viewers back into line, to go back to watching MSNBC. They have a lot of credibility issues that they need to fix with the viewers to gain their respect.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show. has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike. We had not spoken to President Trump since March of 2020, other than a personal call Joe made to Trump on the morning after the attempt on his life in Butler, Pennsylvania. In this meeting, President Trump was cheerful, he was upbeat, he seemed interested in finding common ground with Democrats on some of the most divisive issues.
That goes to show that Trump is trying to get the country together. Republican, Democrats, we need to unite and wish the country better, right? And do their best to make the country a little better. So that just goes to show that he is being a president, all right? He doesn't want the division that these people brought for the last 8 years, to trying to get everybody to hate Trump. And it didn't work. It actually got people, in my opinion, on board with liking Trump.
And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask back, why wouldn't we? 5 years of political warfare has deeply divided Washington and the country. We have been as clear as we know how in expressing our deep concerns about President Trump's actions and words in the coarsening of public debate. But for nearly 80 million Americans, election denialism, public trials, and January 6th were not as important as the issues that moved them to send Donald Trump back to the White House with their vote.
AKA they lost. AKA MSNBC lost. Again, this is bending the knee. This is admitting defeat. They've been defeated. Now, as a defeated enemy, they come crawling back to Trump to beg for mercy. Again, this is this is some 48 laws of power stuff. Like,
well said. That was a black conservative. Great reporting. And yes, they need to go back to Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is not even talking like they are. They're calling him all these names and trying to get people to hate him. All this January 6th talk and being a Nazi. None of that worked. The harder and harder they try to hit Trump, the stronger he got, the bigger they got. So now let's settle it down. The man is not going to run for office again. These are the last 4 years. And hey, this is what you see groveling on national television. But let me know what you think. Comment down below. My name is Noel, Battling MS, still here. Be sure to give this video a like before you go anywhere. And I want to keep bringing up videos like this one so you can see what's going on out there, because we are living in some crazy times. Can't believe that Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski, his wife, are apologizing and meeting with Trump. Insane. Here, let's take a look at these last few minutes.
so serious, right? Keep your friends close and your enemies closer, right? This is why Trump met with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski. A lot of people are asking, why would Trump do that? He should have said, no, you don't do that. When your enemy is defeated, of course you meet with them. Because essentially at that point, they're needy, okay? And an enemy that's been defeated, sometimes they will be more loyal to you than a friend.
And when it comes to politics, man, it's all about bringing the country together, all right? You don't want more enemies. You don't need more enemies. And you need every single television network on your side showing off the great things that you're doing as a politician, all right? This just goes to show that Trump is a genius. The man knows what he's doing. He needs to bring all these people together and get everybody on his side, because he's about to do some major changes. What the man is currently doing, never been done before. He got the House, he got the Congress, and he got the presidency, and a bunch of Supreme Court. He's winning that. The man got everything. Let's just hope for the best. But again, Noel over here, Battling MS. Thank you for watching. Be sure to give the video a like before you go anywhere. Peace. Where was I?